For just the second time in school history, the Central Red Devils are state champions. Coming up, how they got it done and what this historic moment means. Plus, the championship curse is no more in Atlanta after United conquered Portland for the MLS Cup. First-hand look at the game, and a celebration is on the way. It's all on the last call, and it starts right now. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. This week was bittersweet. Bitter because, yeah, it was cold, but also because this was the last week for high school football, and sweet because of how it ended. Let's run it back. For Central, it was state championship or bust this year after 3 years of getting knocked out in the semifinals. The Red Devils wanted to show what they could do when given a chance at the title. Let's see. The Red Devils entered Jordan-Hare Stadium trying to win their second state title in school history and their first since 1993. Opening kickoff, DJ Rias back to receive, and he gets the party started early. Turns on the Jets, takes it all the way to the Thompson 39, and Central is in business. Devils on the 5-yard line, Joseph McKay with no regard for human life. Central strikes first, 7-0 less than 3 minutes into the first quarter. Later on, 3rd and 3 in the red zone, Peter Parrish fakes the handoff, stretches out for the end zone, and he's in. Red Devils lead 14-0 with 2:51 left in the first quarter. Second drive, second touchdown for the Red Devils. And then Talia Tagovailoa, the younger brother of Tua, also committed to Alabama, scrambles to the right, and he's thrown down by Wallace Melton on the sack. Tagovailoa was shaken up, but would return 2 series later. Late in the first half, Parrish zips it out to Amonte Spivey. Down the sideline, cuts back up the middle. It's important to hold on to the football. He loses it right here, but don't worry. Gets right back on top of it for the 26-yard gain. And then Amonte Money Spivey cashes in and finishes the drive with this touchdown. Central dominating, leads the first half 21-0. Second half wasn't much better for the Warriors. Thompson driving, but Tagovailoa's pass is picked off by Clemson commit Ray Thornton. Says, "Give me that." Off to the races, brought down deep in Thompson territory. That led to a Central field goal, 24-0 good guys. Later, the handoff to Jarrett Crockett. He's stripped by his own teammate in the scrum. Central's Marquez Henry comes out with the ball, and Central takes over again. Ensuing possession, a huge 4th and 4 from the 33. Parrish lets it fly, caught by E.J. Williams. 31-0 Red Devils. Looks like they're going to do it. Red Devils' Trayvon Matthews scores on a fumble recovery, and then this, another Thompson turnover. They're 4th in the third quarter. Henry picks off the pass and has reservations for 6. The Devils just throttle Thompson 52-7, giving Central its second state title in school history. It was a party on the Plains last night for the Central Red Devils, who won their second state championship in school history.
I've gotten more fulfillment out of this one. I wanted to give something to a community. I wanted to give something to players, and I wanted to give something to coaches.
We started a thing with a ring. They started that back in 1993. We wore black tape around our fingers, so for us to be able to take the black tape off and replace it with a ring, that's amazing.
Central scored 2 touchdowns on its first 2 drives, including a huge 3rd and goal on a quarterback keeper by Peter Parrish. Parrish was named the game's MVP after running for 100 yards while passing for 78 and a score.
I mean, we just did it for our community, really. I mean, words can't describe this feeling. I mean, you know, we just feel like we're on top of the world right now. It's good to know that we went out with a bang. So.
The senior quarterback was the individual MVP, but the award could have gone to the entire Central defense. They shut out Talia Tagovailoa in the first half and showed out in the third quarter by forcing 4 turnovers, 2 of which were returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, it really came to me, you know. Came to me. I was shocked, but when I seen open field, I had to get grass and go in the end zone.
The Devils finally cast out the demon of doubt after 3 years of getting bounced from the state semifinals.
I mean, it's great. I'm very proud of them. I feel like we set the stage and they just took it over. I mean, Fitness City, they were behind us the whole way, and I feel like they did it for them tonight.
I feel like we're starting a dynasty. You know, it's going in the history books, so it's only beginning, really, for Central.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. It's your time. Humble assemble yourselves after Christmas, and we'll get back to work trying to get another one.
Reporting on your side, Justin Holbrook, News 3 Sports. From football to football, what curse? Atlanta United has only been a Major League Soccer team for 2 years, so when they won the championship last night, they broke a curse that has burned the city of Atlanta for more than 20 years. There you have it. In only their second year in the MLS, United are Cup champions. They did so by beating Portland today 2-0. And for the city of Atlanta, this is even sweeter because this is the first team to win a professional championship in Atlanta since the Braves in 1995. A cup raised and a burden lifted. A dominating performance by United in the MLS Cup gives the city of Atlanta a title after 23 long years.
You'll never know if you'll ever have an opportunity like this. So when you're in it, you got to take advantage of it. And so to come out victorious means everything.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody, the coaching staff, the players, the fans, because I know it's been a long time since they won a championship, and I think they deserve it. It's a great feeling to win this year, and now I'm waiting to celebrate, so I'm waiting for you guys to stop asking me questions so we can go celebrate.
The man who broke the regular season record for goals got the celebration started in the 39th minute on this goal, and the crowd of 73,000 strong reached nirvana after this tap-in by Franco Escobar in the 54th minute. The last game of the season was also the last game Tata Martino will coach for United after he announced in October he'd be leaving at the end of the season.
The most satisfying thing for me is to be able to fulfill all the plans that the club presented to me at the beginning. I think we've got the best training facilities in the league, we've got the best team in the league, so as a club they give the coaching staff absolutely everything they need to be successful, and that's what makes it the most satisfying.
In 2014, the MLS named Atlanta an expansion team. From there, Falcons owner Arthur Blank launched a soccer team in the South, where the other football is king. He hired the former Barcelona manager, and they built a team, but more importantly, a winning culture quickly embraced by fans reeling from a Super Bowl loss. A loss remedied by last night's win. This is what's left of the Benz after the confetti fell and the champagne flowed. More than 73,000 fans were in attendance. That's an MLS record. It's the last game for United fans, but you can be sure they'll be right back here for year 3, trying to win their second cup in a row. Reporting on your side from Atlanta, Justin Holbrook, News 3 Sports. Tua Tagovailoa was the Heisman favorite back in August, and it stayed that way practically all year. But he didn't finish as the winner. He got stiff-armed out of the way. That honor went to Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray, giving the Sooners back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners, with Baker Mayfield taking the Heisman last year. The junior QB led Oklahoma to 12 wins, a Big 12 Conference championship, and a spot in the upcoming college football playoff. This year, he threw for more than 4,000 yards, 51 total touchdowns, and had a QBR of 96, the highest ever recorded in college football. Here's the always humble Tua after the Heisman decision.
We still got a game to play. And, you know, my success is because of my team's success, because of what my teammates have been doing, the guys that I have surrounding me. So, not really, you know, if we win another national championship, then I can say we did pretty good.
I'd say so. Tua received more than 1,800 points in the voting process. That's the most all-time for a Heisman runner-up. Before the season started, Auburn QB Jarrett Stidham was considered a possible Heisman candidate. Dreams of winning the Heisman were dashed early, but another dream, playing in the NFL, will soon be a reality. This week, Stidham declared for the NFL draft and that he will still play in the Tigers' Music City Bowl game on December 28th against Purdue. Last week, Paul Johnson announced he was retiring as Georgia Tech's winningest football coach, and this week they found his replacement. Former graduate assistant and recruiting coordinator Jeff Collins comes back to Atlanta for the big job. Collins spent the last 2 seasons at Temple, where he went 15-10 overall. Still to come on The Last Call, college football is nearly done, and so we turn our attention to basketball, including the number 8 Auburn Tigers, who hosted tournament regular Dayton last night. Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl said their win over Dayton last year kicked off the moment the Tigers came into their own as a team. They're already at that point this year as a top 10 team led by this man, Bryce Brown. Austin Wiley right here with the block, Jared Harper on the fast break lobs it to Javon McCormick, slams it down 19-6 with 12 minutes left in the half. Samir Dougherty, outlet pass, Brown with a head of steam, slams it home 25-19 with 6:20 left in the half. Then Dowdy again, back, behind the back, no look to Wiley for the flush. Tigers led by 19 at the end of the half. A lot of those points came from Bryce Brown. He finished with a career-high 34 as Auburn flies past Dayton 82-72. Auburn beat Arizona in Hawaii. The Tide trying to beat them in Bama. The game right here less than 3 minutes ago. It's tied. The flush from Dante Hall. And then look at it. The big man off the turnover, showing off the handles. It's no good, but it's called a goaltending, so he gets it. Alabama's up 4 with 2:30 left. It's a 2-point game, 15 seconds left. Kira Lewis Jr., only 17 years old, the dagger to put the Tide up by 5. Wildcats have a chance to win, but the half-court heave is no good, and Alabama improves to 6-3. Back in football, Falcons and Packers both struggling this year. The Pack fired their head coach Mike McCarthy this week. Matt Ryan in the red zone to Julio Jones. Sounds pretty good to me. He's in for the tutty. The Falcons strike first early in the game. Jones is reliable, and so is Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers hits him in the corner, and we're tied at 7. Green Bay adds a field goal, and Matt Ryan gives them even more points. Rashad Breeland with a pick 6, and it wouldn't get any better as the Falcons fall 34-20. We're still serving on the last call, and I'll be joined by Kevin Eckelberry from the Daily News to discuss the historic football seasons by both Troup County and Callaway. Stick around. Joining me now is Kevin Eckelberry. He is the sports editor at the LaGrange Daily News. Kevin, it was a busy football year for you. Troup County and Callaway, both historic seasons. What impressed you so much about both of these teams making their run to the semifinal? I know they fell short of their goal of the title, but for both programs, they're headed in the right direction.
Well, with the Callaway Cavaliers, it's remarkable the consistency they've had under head coach Pete Wiggins. This is actually their 3rd trip to the semifinals since 2013. And they've been to the quarterfinals, I believe, 5 times since 2009. So for them, getting to this point is nothing new.
Right.
And it was not a given because they lost a lot of players from last year's team. They had a lot of key guys to replace. And they had some disappointments along the way. They lost to Heard County late in the regular season. But they got hot and started playing well at the right time. And in the second round of the state playoffs, they beat the defending state champions, Hapeville Charter. And a lot of people, myself included, really thought, boy, this looks like a state championship team. And then they beat Washington County at home, and they're right there with Rockmart, just back and forth, and just came up a little short at the end. But they were a team, they had a running back in Cartavius Bigsby. Everybody calls him Tank.
Yep, we know him well.
He was remarkable. He ran for 2,000 yards. And this is actually an interesting stat. He's the 3rd 2,000-yard rusher they've had in the past 4 years. 3 different guys. So that kind of just tells you a little about. So they just they line up and they just punch you in the face with that running game, and then they'll hit you with some deep passes every now and then. So it was a fantastic season for Callaway. Of course, they're disappointed because they really wanted to get to that championship game. And they would have played Heard County, which would have been pretty remarkable.
The rematch,
for 2 communities that close together.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting, too, because they had Jacob Freeman, a wide receiver, switched to quarterback, then back to wide receiver. And Troup County, very similar with Kobe, because he was a wideout, committed to Auburn as a wideout, but he's pretty darn good at quarterback, too.
Well, the situation with Troup coming into the season, that was just about the only question mark they had, because they had Montez Crow at quarterback last year, and he had a phenomenal season. So the question was, who's going to play quarterback? And so Kobe Hudson, who was a great wide receiver his first 2 years, well, let's put him at quarterback. And all he did was go out and have one of the best seasons of any quarterback in the state. He ran for, I think, around 1,500 yards, threw for more than 2,000. So he just had an incredible year. And, of course, he has so many offensive weapons around him. And that's a testament to Kobe, obviously, but also to the coaches. That's fairly remarkable what they were able to do in a pretty short period of time. And they're not going anywhere either, because they're going to have a ton of talented guys coming back next year. So And the same with Callaway. I fully expect both those teams to be right back in this position next year.
We know the goal is a state title for sure.
Right.
But what was it about these two teams, both in the same county,
right,
that was able to make this possible? Because you could have these kids go to one school or the other school, but they both go to different schools in the same county, and they both had the same success. What was it like watching these two teams in the same county?
It was a lot. For me personally, it was a lot of fun. Part of it's because I get to know these coaches so well. And they're tremendous coaches and outstanding men as well. So it was fun for me to watch them have the success, and I see how hard they work. And obviously it takes talent, and both programs and teams have that.
Sure.
But you also have to be able to put them in the right spots and get these players to believe and invest in what you're attempting to do, which they did, which they both fully did. And it was just kind of the perfect storm. You know, it's a talent, coaching, a belief, and just an absolute confidence that we are going to win when we go out on the field. And it was a lot of fun. And if I could mention LaGrange for a moment too, you know, it was they went 2-8 this year, which is a tough season, but they were winless last year, and that's a program that is definitely on the upswing as well under Chuck Gibbs, who just took over as head coach. So I fully expect them to continue that upward trajectory as well, and the 2019 season is going to be an awful lot of fun, I think, in Troup County.
So I guess the last question is, for those two programs in particular, Troup and Callaway, what is it going to take to get over the hump? Because we haven't seen them ever win a title, and they got that close to being in the game. Impressive in itself, but what is it going to take to get over that hump?
There's a lot of things that go right. I've had people kind of ask me, hey, how come Callaway hasn't won a state title yet? Like, it's easy to do, first of all.
Very difficult.
You just, honestly, you get in that game and you just have to have some things go right and not turn it over, which Callaway had a few turnovers in that game, and Troup did as well. When you get to that point, to that semifinals, you just have to almost play a flawless football game and then maybe get a few breaks here or there. And it's just all you can do is put yourself in that position, and eventually you just hope you knock down that door, and I got a feeling it's going to happen with those two teams sooner than later.
Well, case in point, the Central Red Devils losing in the state semifinals 3 years in a row.
Absolutely.
And then this year, they finally got the job done in big fashion against Thompson in that game, putting up 50 points and only allowing 7.
Sure. Chambers Academy as well. They're an example. They made it to the championship game 3 years in a row, I think, or 4 years, and finally won it.
And finally got over that.
You just keep getting there, and you hope that eventually, you know, it'll be your turn to hoist that trophy.
Well, before we know it, 2019 is going to be here.
I can't wait.
Football season. So thanks so much for joining us,
Absolutely.
Kevin. Maybe we'll have you on for basketball too.
Please,
anytime.
anytime.
Good teams. Yeah. All right. That's it. We'll be right back. Right after this. Welcome back to Picks of the Week. We got a little busy with football season, so it's been a while. We've had everybody here. Welcome back, guys.
It only took the end of the season for this to happen. Am I still in last place?
We lost count.
First place in our hearts.
NASCAR is over, though.
Yeah, so you got to find something else.
All right, so let's see what I can do. We're going to do bowl games. December 15th is the start of bowl season, so I'll start with you, Connor.
Yeah, most important team plays December 15th. That's Georgia Southern. We're hoping to get that Ohio matchup. Didn't happen. We're going to roll over Eastern Michigan. Easy game, Georgia Southern over Eastern Michigan.
All right, Rex?
Well, I used to work in Savannah, so we cover Georgia Southern a lot. I'm rolling with Georgia Southern as well. Chad Lunsford has done a fantastic job with the Eagles. Well, I think they're going to just, again, run over, get 500 rushing yards and beat Eastern Michigan. All
right, I'm going to go and take App State. Their coach is leaving for Louisville, but they had a good team this year. Almost beat Penn State to start the year. I'm taking them over Middle Tennessee. Jack?
I'm going to go West. Fresno State over Arizona in the Las Vegas Bowl. This has the potential to be a really fun matchup between Fresno State's high-power offense and Arizona State's underrated defense.
Especially for whatever team wins in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, from college football to college basketball, we're taking a top 10 team that's playing this week. Rex, who you got?
Gonzaga has been impressive from the start. They actually beat Duke, so I think they're going to be the other team in North Carolina. They're going to roll over the Tar Heels.
Good pick. All right, Connor.
I got Kansas over Villanova in Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas never loses at home.
That's very true. Must have been looking at my sheet. I've also got Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse. Number 2, Villanova, number 21 this year. Not as good as last year. Jack?
I'm going out west again. Nevada over South Dakota State. Nevada was a really good team last year. They have shown no signs of stopping so far this year.
All right, good deal. And we're also doing a personal pick, so we'll go right back to you, Jack.
Well, the Falcons are out of the playoff picture, so it's time to go to the other team. Steelers over Patriots in the game you can see right here on News 3.
Could be the AFC Championship once again. All right, so I'm going to take back to basketball. I'm taking Tennessee, number 7, over Memphis in-state rivalry.
Nobody's beaten my Texans this year, so I'm going Texans over the Jets.
Oh, well, I had Falcons over Cardinals because I'm confident in that. But you know what? I think the Jets end your winning streak. Jets at home. Watching, who knows? Could be snowy weather out there.
Yeah, we don't do great and cold, but go Texans.
The Cardinals are dangerous too. Just ask the Packers.
Aww.
All right, that'll do it for Picks of the Week. We'll be right back after this. You really do have to see this. Dolphins trail the Patriots by 5 with 7 seconds left. Too far for a Hail Mary, so it's going to be a lateral situation. Kenny Stills to Devontae Parker to Kenyon Drake. And that was fun while it lasted. But wait, Drake finds a hole. What is Gronk doing on defense? Drake has New England in its feelings after this improbable game-winning touchdown as time expires. And time expires on us. Last call is over. Time to lock up. Thanks for watching. Same time next week.